Hi, I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
And you're listening to Batshit Crazy.
Oh my God, am I?
Are you feeling crazy?
Are you
feeling batshit crazy?
I do often feel batshit crazy. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I can attest that you are.
Often you are batshit crazy, there's that.
Yeah, okay. So it's Thursday. It is time to talk about some weird shit, Dylan.
Yeah, so we want to give you some weird stuff to think about over the weekend.
Are you ready for today's episode?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I think you're going to like this one. This is like in your wheelhouse, Dylan.
You told me one sentence of what this was about, and I was instantly intrigued. So I want to get straight into it, okay?
Members of a secret group in communication with extraterrestrials sailed a gigantic airship, typically described as resembling a cone-shaped riverboat, over the Atlantic Ocean in 1897, years before any known terrestrial agency had managed heavier-than-air flight.
I've never heard of this. I'll be honest with you. I've never heard of this. So basically, it sounds like almost like a gigantic hot air balloon, right?
Are you ready for this?
Yeah. What?
It's like jock jams. Are you ready for this? Dun, dun, dun.
No, it's like dun dun dun
Yeah, whatever.
dun 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 dun.
I'm just making my sounds. What?
Oh gosh, you just instantly take me to CNC Music Factory with that beat. Don't do it.
That wasn't even CNC Music Factory.
I know, but that's where my
okay.
mind
So the
went.
globe, the world was poised firmly on the stage of, or the verge of the 20th century. So you got me all kerfluffled over here. 20th century in 1897, Carl Benz and Henry Ford produced their first four-wheeled vehicles in 1893. In 1895, Auguste and Louis Lumiere produced the cinematograph.
Oh, the movie picture.
Marconi established radiotelegraphy.
Teleography?
Sure.
Yeah, so these were huge leaps forward within years of each other.
And Konstantin Slavoski developed the rocket reaction theory propulsion.
Oh my God.
In 1897, the Royal Automobile Club was created in London, and automobiles on the road were becoming quicker by the year. However, no heavier-than-air vehicles were racing over the sky, and several bright experts proclaimed that such flying aircraft were aerodynamically impossible to make.
Heavier-than-air vehicle. Okay.
Nonetheless, on April 7th, 1897, residents of Wesley, Iowa, saw a cone-shaped airship with brilliantly lighted windows all along the sides, flying overhead.
So, I mean, could you imagine being during that time, have never seen anything like this? I mean, it would probably scare you to see such a craft.
It was a marvel, a spectacle.
Or you might be excited.
Yeah, I would be super excited. Unfortunately, witnesses were unable to establish how it was pushed or what kept it aloft. The airship landed 2 miles north of Springfield, Illinois on April 15th. The occupants of the ship indicated that they had landed to repair their electrical equipment and searchlight equipment.
Yeah, don't mind us. We'll be gone in a minute.
The airship returned to Iowa on April 17th and landed near Waterloo. One of the inmates brandished a weapon to keep curious folks at a safe distance from this machine.
Okay.
And I'm calling them inmates, but you know, the folks who were riding on the ship. I don't know what you want to call them.
Oh, well, you shouldn't call them inmates.
Why not?
That makes me think they're some kind of a criminal.
Well, no, I just kind of liked using that word because of my fancy thesaurus.
So one of the crew members was brandishing a weapon because anyone within probably a half mile of this thing was making their way towards it to see it up close, right?
Yeah, people were like, what the hell is this? Journalists reported the airship as being around 40 feet long and built like a gigantic cigar with wing-like extensions on the sides and a steering system at the back.
Okay.
There was like a dome on the machine's roof that topped it off.
And this thing floated?
Yeah, Dylan. It was floating and a flying.
So this is astounding.
No, it is. The airship barnstormed Arkansas and Texas on April 21st and 22nd. It woke up a former senator in Harrisburg, Arkansas around midnight. Members of the flying crew told him that the craft's designer was a great genius from St. Louis who had found the key of suspending gravity's rules. The airship had taken 19 years to develop, but since it was not yet complete, the crew chose to cruise at night.
Okay, so they were basically in their beta model and just testing it out, working all the bugs out.
Exactly.
Okay.
They planned to place the airship on public display after completing a successful mission to Mars.
Whoa.
Big dreams, Dylan.
No.
In the words of Frankenfurter, don't dream it, be it.
Don't. I'm sorry. I mean, as amazing as this sounds, especially for the period, I've got to believe the ship wouldn't survive leaving the atmosphere. Come on.
Look, they're trying. Okay?
Space is scary.
I'm afraid of space.
Space is the most inhospitable. You know, the only thing more inhospitable is the fucking ocean. Let's be honest. Deep water ocean. Humans aren't meant to be there. When you get to the pressures, to the point of, getting the bends and having to come up slowly in these deep water research stations. Obviously, in my mind, being 43, it brings up movies like The Abyss, The Leviathan, things like that. It's very scary and foreign and just inhospitable to human occupancy. And space is that times 50.
I have no desire to do either of those things. I don't want to go into like super deep ocean water. Like I don't want to go down in like a Mariana Trench type situation. One, because I'm like super claustrophobic and the thought of having to wear like scuba gear just freaks me out. I don't want to have to wear any.
Well,
I just don't want to be enclosed.
At that depth, you'd have to be in a submersible.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
I wouldn't even want to scuba dive. Okay.
Right.
I don't even really like snorkeling. Because I don't like having shit on my face like that.
Well, if something goes wrong.
But I'm not trying to go down in some dark place in some weird little sea craft, I don't know, mini sub.
No, I certainly think that takes an adventurer type. And I'm sure these guys on this craft, if it did exist, were adventurous at heart and doing things that a lot of people wouldn't try. But yeah, if I go out past where the waves are white capping and breaking at the beach, I feel like I've went on an adventure. And if I get out, 50, 60 feet, you're at the shore like, come back. That's enough.
The thought of just floating around lost in space.
Yeah.
Fucking weird. It like, just wigs me out.
Oh, so if you're on the space station outside doing a repair on a spacewalk and you slip and you just barely, your hand misses that grip and you float away slowly away from it, that is a horrifying thought. And the only life that you have left is whatever's left in your oxygen tank.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And there's no opportunity for recovery. Obviously you should be tethered off.
Nightmare scenario. The only thing that would make the situation even like more frightening is if there's like a snake, like a space snake,
in your suit,
floating at me, like it's gonna eat me or something.
What if you're in this situation, even if you were doing a safe spacewalk, and all of a sudden, you had to go to the bathroom? You reckon they get a diaper up every time they strap up in those suits and stuff? I bet they do. Man,
I'm pretty sure they're probably just wearing the space diaper all the time. Wouldn't you think? Accidents happen, Dylan.
And then if you have a blowout, and then you got to smell it.
Thankfully, there's no Taco Bell in space. Okay, a renowned Texas farmer was awoken at midnight on April 24th by a very peculiar whirring sound and bright lights of what he described as angels in a heavenly vehicle.
Well, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Something this strange would seem superstitious and magical.
Instead, these visitors told him that they didn't come from heaven, but from a little town in Iowa where 5 of these airships had been built. The craft was made of newly found substance that could sustain itself in the air. The driving force was highly concentrated electricity. Landing and contact reports poured in from throughout the country during the next several weeks. Sightings were recorded from all around the world during the summer months of 1897. Strange airborne objects were reported above Sweden and Norway in July and August.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Now, was this thing real? Well, these are allegedly according to these reports. Wow. I mean, shit. Because at first, when you first said airship, I obviously instantly pictured a Zeppelin, right? which the Zeppelin was, of course, what is it, the Hindenburg, one of the more famous airships of that type. And they realized, obviously, just by sheer size, they could move large chunks of cargo and a lot of heavyweight cargo. And but no, so apparently this doesn't seem to be held aloft by a hot air balloon or lighter than air gas of some sort, correct?
Are you ready for more, Dylan?
Yes, my mind's swimming over here.
Now, on the same day, what looked to be the same flying object was seen off the coast of Norway and then above Vancouver, British Columbia.
No.
So it's like everywhere all at once. It's like Visa in the 80s. It's everywhere you want to be.
So either there's multiple ships, right? Or, I mean, come on, it can't move that fast, right?
Well, Count von Zeppelin revealed an airship in 1898, but the early versions had such a limited flying range, Dylan, that successful trips from Germany to England were virtually impossible.
Okay.
Orville and Wilbur Wright achieved the first flight with a heavier-than-air vehicle in 1903 with a plane that stayed in the air for 12 seconds and traveled 120 feet.
Yeah, and some people claim that the people around the Wright brothers didn't seem that excited about what they accomplished, which you would imagine they'd be like, oh my God, even if you saw something go, 3 feet off the ground. Some people claim that was because that wasn't the first flying object they had seen before in their lives. So the story you're laying out for us makes that quite possible.
However, no terrestrial organization had built an aerial vehicle capable of traversing the world at the speed and ease of this airship that was flown by these unknown inventors from Iowa or St. Louis in 1897.
Talking about, are you from heaven? Be like, no, I'm from St. Louis. Yeah, we just shot up here to get some corn, get some grain. We're gonna shoot back down there to. I don't even know if the arch was up then, but we're going back down to St. Louis.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not angels. We're from Iowa.
That could be like a movie, Angels in Iowa.
Yeah, it could be.
Now, as a result, many academics assume that the builders of the 1897 airship were members of some kind of secret organization, maybe one that had been in contact with alien intelligence, or possibly there are records and artifacts for thousands of years.
Wow.
Numerous European occult organizations have been formed around the concept that a secret society acquired a high degree of scientific knowledge centuries ago and has carefully concealed this dangerous information from the rest of mankind ever since.
Okay. Well, secret societies have been accused of, obviously, besides their secrecy and their traditions and all that, which is kind of... It's almost like if they revealed exactly what they were doing, it would take all the mystery away because the human mind runs with what it doesn't know or whatever. But they have also been accused of absorbing, in some instances, of absorbing technology or these scientific breakthroughs and keeping them for themselves to either roll out through their methods or just to keep away from society. And so they have the upper hand.
Now, there is a recurring conspiracy theory that selected maybe brilliant people or like a group in ancient Egypt and Persia were granted access to this sophisticated technology, possibly alien technology.
Or ancient technology Oh, wow.
Now, many hundreds of years ago, these ancient masters learned to replicate the accomplishments of the Titans of Atlantis and drew the notice of extraterrestrials who had been watching Earth for evidence of intelligence. Well, they're not going to find it here now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Given the state of our current world events and society as far as social media goes, I think they'd be like, holy cow, they're going backwards.
Now, the choice to build a society inside a society may have reflected the members' highly developed moral sense and their realization of the enormous responsibility that holding on to this, old knowledge entails. They have to be very responsible with this information.
Oh, yeah, see, and that makes them, gives them some gravitas and some importance and all that. But see, this is very interesting. Now, aside from possibly being alien technology, which we're going to cover, we're going to go into that at length in the future. This could be ancient technology because some people believe, and by some people, it's the other people I've listened to about these matters, that there was ancient technology or ancient societies that were way more technologically advanced than we are currently. We're just now scratching the surface, and it brings into mind Atlantis, right, and some other things,
pyramids, aliens.
Well, I mean the pyramids, and you can go on and on about all that, the construction, what it would have took to move stone hundreds of miles, and all that, and the rate you had to put the blocks in. I mean, it just seems like a lot for guys with a banging rock against rock. You know what I'm saying? With a very low level roping and
the Romans with their elaborate plumbing systems.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Is that alien technology, Dylan?
Well, no, I don't think that. I don't know. Maybe some alien was like, "Hey, why are you guys throwing it out the window?
Hey, stop shitting in a field."
Well, stop. You're collecting that in a chamber pot, but you're just like dumping it out by your front door. You know. Well, and they used to. Oh, dude, I actually listened to a very interesting podcast about a latrine failure. Well, used to they would dig these. The richer people had latrines, which was just a pit and a wooden board, like in a hallway kind of inset. Brings to mind where Tyrion shot his father on the latrine. And
so kind of like an indoor outhouse.
It is just a fucking hole in the floor that you squat on the bench.
Or for those of us who've been in the military, latrine.
Right. Yeah. It's the same concept. We all have it in different iterations. But yes, so we weren't very advanced with our sewage and getting rid of our poo and pee for a very long time.
So how smart are we actually, Dawn? Okay, so this conspiracy claims that these folks may have decided to stay quiet until the rest of the world grew educated enough to cope with this high level of technological achievement. Like we were, like these folks who had this, information, this ancient alien technology or technology passed on from some ancient civilization, that they're holding on to it until everybody else catches up.
So until everyone can basically grasp the concept of it and not just totally freak out when they hear about it or see it.
However, now and again, the secret organization may decide that the moment has come to make one of its findings public. Such interference in the concerns of the vast majority of humankind is frequently performed by carefully feeding certain bits of study to, outside experts whose work and attitude may have considered or was kind of considered by people to be truthful or worthy. So they're like just feeding little bits of this information, like perhaps to Einstein or, maybe Bill Gates. Who knows?
So they're feeding it to people who people already know and trust, so they can give them little tidbits. So it's the equivalent of the modern day think tank, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Members of the secret society, on the other hand, may feel little or no obligation to individuals outside the organization. They may just be biding their time until they can enslave all of mankind.
My God, that might be where we're headed.
For hundreds of years, some academics have been concerned about global conspiracies carried out by secret organizations waiting for the opportune time to attain world domination.
Oh my God, is this why they're declassifying their UFO findings? So they're giving us another little tidbit of information?
I don't know, Dylan. Are they?
They're preparing
us. Are they?
They're preparing us for the ship hovering over the White House here in America. And various other country capitals.
Independence Day, bitch. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, we can only hope there's a Will Smith around to save us at that point.
Okay, so for 12 years, Dylan, the mystery airship vanished from the sky.
Okay.
Then, in Peterborough, England, a police officer reported hearing a sound sort of like a motor car above, hovering above on March 24th, 1909. So looking up to the sky, he saw an airship emitting a bright light and moving at the speed of what he called an express train.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Of course, I'm not sure how fast an express train was moving in 1909.
Well, trains were doing pretty good.
But I guess it was getting it, right?
Yeah. Trains were doing pretty decent around the turn of the century there. Yeah, they had a full steam ahead, right? They were run off steam.
In March, it's in England. By July, this weird airborne spaceship contraption, whatever you want to call it, was seen above New Zealand. And it lingered for about 6 weeks above New Zealand before returning to the United States.
See, well, this is amazing. I mean, honestly, if it's covering these large distances.
There was one recorded overflight in New England, like in that region around August. But the airship vanished until the night of December 12th when Long Island residents heard a buzzing sound above, from the sky, similar to the rattle and hum of a high-speed engine.
Okay.
On January 20th of 1910, the final recorded sighting of an airship occurred from Memphis, Tennessee. Several witnesses reported seeing an object flying extremely high in the air at a high rate of speed. Now, it crossed the Mississippi River into Arkansas, then curved slightly south and vanished.
Okay.
Perhaps the secret society no longer felt the need to inspire outsiders to pursue the science of aeronautics. Because by 1910, there had already been an international aviation competition held in Reims, France, a flight from the deck of a seagoing cruiser, a float plane taken off from water, and the first woman pilot had obtained her license.
Is that Amelia?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
But
so basically, they'd inspired mankind up to that point, or humankind.
That is one of the conspiracy theories.
And therefore, they just took this amazing, incredible, very technologically advanced ship and just put it back in the box. Their work was done.
Possibly.
Okay.
Now, some folks think that the airship was basically like yellow journalism, where the newspapers would print these manufactured stories and hoaxes.
Just sensationalized
and that
stories.
This was kind of like that. So a lot of journalists of the period didn't seem to take these reports very seriously.
Okay.
Kind of dismissed those. But, there was a lot of reports. All over the globe.
Yeah, a lot of reports all over the world describing a very similar craft. And that's pretty amazing. So, I wonder now what the secret societies are preparing us for next. What little tidbits do you think are leaking out of their toolboxes?
The reptilians.
For our benefit.
Mark Zuckerberg is a reptilian.
I think they're going to come clean about Zuck. See, Facebook's in trouble. I think everyone out there listening may have heard. They've had a big stumble. I'm sorry, Meta. Since the rebranding to Meta from Facebook, they have went in the toilet. They have lost a good, $500 billion off of their value as a company. People aren't really taken to the metaverse because VR has been around since the 90s, and only a small group of people think it's cool enough to wear all this shit on your face and head. And hey, I've tried VR. It's really cool. I'm not downplaying it. But I don't think I want to go have an office meeting in VR. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
If I go in VR, bro, I'm punching. We're going to kick a ball around. I'm doing something fun. I don't want to go
sit in a meeting.
I don't want to go to a meeting about a meeting with my virtual headset on and my avatar, even though my avatar is probably going to be a little more fit than I am, right? He's going to be super cool.
Can my avatar just be like a cheeseburger with eyes?
See, that's the kind of shit that's not going to make the metaverse fail. Is people like you talking about, can I show up looking like a hot dog?
But I want to be a hot dog.
But I could see you, your little cheeseburger body.
With like googly eyes.
Yeah.
I want like little googly eyes that just like during the meeting kind of roll around.
Oh, and they're kind of just going in different directions?
Yeah, like roll around. It might be looking over at Sandy in HR or maybe Bill over in accounting, right? And so they're not sure who I'm addressing.
And then they ask you to stay after the meeting. They want to have a talk to you about your avatar choice.
Yes,
because they're saying you're a distraction now.
Yeah, and then someone's going to complain to HR that my avatar is cheesy and they're lactose intolerant and they feel like I'm being insensitive to their issues.
Because you didn't show up as a hamburger, but you showed up as a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have Lucy.
And then Bill in accounting is going to be like, I second that. I have IBS. I can't even eat a cheeseburger. It's too greasy.
Yeah, and then Lucy, who's the office vegan.
Get fired.
The office vegan is wholly offended by
fired.
By your
I'm fired.
Choice of avatar.
I'm fired at my fake job.
My God. You didn't even let me get it out.
Okay, go ahead. So what's the point? I mean, okay.
Lucy the vegan's totally offended by your choice of avatar.
In going to a meeting wearing VR gear and having an avatar.
Well, see, okay, so some people's theory, since we're here at Batshit Crazy, let's talk about the theory, okay?
Let's talk about it.
The theory is they're preparing you for extended lockdowns because, so here's what they want to do, possibly. They want to unravel society at its very basic components, right? Humans are we're social creatures for the most part,
God,
right?
We are?
Yeah, no, we really are. You know, you might feel introverted. You might hate everyone you see. But
I'm introverted. When you say that, I just feel like I'm hanging upside down like on an inversion table.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what's wrong with you. Okay. That's why you showed up in the meeting in a fucking cheeseburger avatar.
With the googly eyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, so yeah, they're preparing us for these extended lockdowns, extended pandemic every time you turn around. So what they're doing is they're trying to create a space where they claim it's for our benefit so we can still have the social feeling of being at the office or at work. And I'm like, who is yearning for that? Can I say, I want to be paid and just do my shit at home. When I figure out I can do it at home and just have like a shirt on for a Zoom meeting and just be naked from the waist down, right?
Ew.
And nobody knows.
Gross.
Right? And I might have my favorite drink or whatever just off camera. I would rather do that. We don't even have to go to the office and meet in a little room together. Right?
I was just thinking about that poor soiled office chair that you're sitting in.
Well, you know what? Whatever's happening between you and your whatever chair you're sitting in, that's your business. It's between you and that chair.
Okay.
Okay? As long as there's consent from both, you can do whatever you want.
Well, what was really interesting, Dylan, is in some of these reports about the airship, they were saying, it was only hovering about maybe 400 feet over land.
Yeah, that's not very high.
And then others were like, no, it was way up there, way up yonder in the sky.
Right. That's very interesting. So, yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on with all this.
You don't?
No. See, now you got me thinking about 6 other conspiracies.
Well, 400 people. Now, this was April 11th, 1897. 400 persons supposedly sighted this airship over Norman, Oklahoma.
Really?
So you've got 400 people witnessing the same thing, but then it's being dismissed by folks as like, oh, well, this is just kind of like people wanting to believe and they're susceptible to believing this. It's almost like it just kind of caught wildfire and now people are like imagining it or.
Well, there's human nature
exaggerating about it
to want to get in on the action. People have that nature. And then you have instances of mass hysteria and hypnosis to where people think they, kind of. But now, and then you have the, this is yellow journalism just to sell papers, blah, blah, blah. But if those 400 people, information didn't travel that damn fast then, right? Word of mouth, maybe. If 400 people within a day or two reported seeing the same thing, that's quite a few people, especially if it's all over multiple counties.
On April 19th, the Dallas Morning News reported a spectacular crash of an airship. I'm going to read you the news article.
Oh, wow.
The early risers of Aurora, Texas were astonished at the sudden appearance of the airship that has been sailing around the country. It was traveling north and much nearer the Earth than before. Evidently, some of the machinery was out of order, for it was making a speed of only 10 or 12 miles an hour and gradually settling down towards the Earth. It sailed over the public square, and when it reached the north part of town, it collided with the tower of Judge Proctor's windmill.
Oh, not Judge Proctor's windmill.
Not the windmill! And it went into pieces with a terrific explosion, scattering debris over several acres of ground, wrecking the windmill and the water tank, destroying the judge's flower garden. I bet Mrs. Judge Proctor was pissed off that this airship destroyed her fucking flower garden.
Well, yeah. So it sounds like there's a mechanical failure, right? Is there more to the article?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, continue.
The pilot of the ship is supposed to have been the only one aboard, and while his remains were badly disfigured, enough of the original has been picked up to show that he was not an inhabitant of this world.
Oh, wow.
Mr. T.J. Weems, the U.S. Army Signal Service officer at this place and an authority on astronomy, gives it as his opinion that the pilot was a native of the planet Mars.
An authority on astronomy.
Papers found on his person, evidently the records of his travels, were written in some unknown hieroglyphics and cannot be deciphered.
Wow. So he had Martian ID on him, basically.
Yeah. This ship was too badly wrecked to form any conclusion as to its construction or motive power. It was built of an unknown metal, resembling somewhat a mixture of aluminum and silver. It must have weighed several tons. The town today is full of people who are viewing the wreckage and gathering specimens of strange metal from the debris. The pilot's funeral will take place tomorrow.
Wow. And from this wreckage, they discovered at least 7 different alloys that advanced society.
You think so?
Yup.
And now they've inserted it in you with the coronavirus alien chip.
I done been chipped.
And now you're going to turn into an airship and you're going to sail high above Texas.
I feel like I'm floating.
Do you?
Is that that's how you're going to wrap this conspiracy up?
You're just high as a kite.
We're all going to be individual airships
Maybe.
now?
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
It could. You were like, what are they prepared us for? It's a conspiracy theory, Dylan. It can be anything. This is my conspiracy theory.
So on one hand, that sounds cool to float up into the air, but I think about that.
It's going to be cold.
I think the assholes just driving around our little hometown here and the assholes we encounter. Could you imagine doing that in the air? With the, just rude people bumping into you, cutting you off?
Okay. Now, if we have flying cars one day, like Back to the Future style flying cars, like in the second film,
mm-hmm.
Okay, are we gonna have like air traffic controllers?
Yeah. Well, it either has to be. I think at that point,
air highways.
Yeah, you would
like.
have.
Do you have to drive in the lane?
Well, you'd have to
in your boundaries.
You'd have to have some kind of control of the air traffic.
Well, that would suck.
But
what's the point?
I would assume, or you can have some proximity gear and detection controlled by a computer that won't allow you to get within, let's say, 25 feet of another aircraft, right?
Well, that's not fun because I want to like fly around you and shit. What? I want to be flying and like pull your pants down and then point and laugh at you.
Well, see, that's why.
So then your big hiney's bright and shiny in the sky.
Well, that's okay. For one thing, there's a lot of the reasons that can't happen while we're in the air. Okay, for one, we're in our vehicles. How are you going to get out of your vehicle into mine to pull my pants down? That's weird. And 2, we got to be safe. So some kind of computer-driven algorithm that keeps some kind of proximity between the different crafts is the only thing that makes sense. And it removes human error. And yeah, you couldn't trust dumbasses to be flying around you. Girl, you know that.
Well, the first full-length book to address the subject was by Daniel Cohen, and it's called The Great Airship Mystery, which was published in 1981. He linked it to fascination with developments in aviation, science fiction tales of these marvelous flying machines, and tensions between the United States and Spain over Cuba. Then he admitted that all of these people could not have been mistaken or lying. There is not a single piece of tangible evidence to support any story.
Okay. All right.
So the Great Airship Mystery could be just a collective delusion. I mean, we do get UFO sightings, and a lot of times those can logically be explained, right? But there remains this nagging suspicion that these few unexplained incidences from the 1897, airship sightings or whatever is just people like kind of making shit up.
So basically once there was the first report of this type of sighting, and it's reported through newspaper, telegram, whatever they had available, it spread around the world, and other people made similar claims.
That's what they want you to believe.
I don't believe
That's what they want us to believe.
I don't believe it. You know what it could have been? Which could be a lot of UFOs. Secret technology, advanced technology that the government controls, various governments around the world, and they're testing it out. And you just happen to see it while they're flying their secret newfangled aircraft.
So you're buying into the conspiracy theory?
No, I'm not buying into the conspiracy theory, because that right there, your government's lying to you. Because why can't we know about the triangle-shaped plane that can make maneuvers that go against the laws of physics? I want to know about that plane. Don't you?
No.
Why?
I don't care.
You don't care?
No, not really.
You don't care?
It doesn't really affect my everyday life. No.
Well, if you had one, it would.
Why?
Because you could just fly around freaking people out.
Maybe I don't want to.
I don't believe that.
I don't want to fly around freaking people out.
You would love to freak
unless I can ride a broom.
You walk around freaking people out.
I do. I can't help myself.
What the hell?
We live in a small town.
All right. Well, that was an amazing story. Actually, I'm going to do some follow-up for my own personal input there, and I need to know more about this. I may actually read that book.
Inmates on the plane?
Yeah, and the inmates are apparently / crew members now, according to Heather, my co-host. That's interesting. And
it's called a thesaurus, Dylan.
I don't think that's...
You can find fancy words.
But those words are not connected. They don't mean... A thesaurus gives you other words that mean the same thing as this word, right? Crew member and inmate is not in the shared family.
Okay.
Sorry.
Don't you argue with me about it.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, that was an amazing story. Where in the world? My God. Where did you find that? Because I've been digging in weird shit for a long time, and I've never seen it.
Well, historynet.com has a great article by J.D. Haynes. It's called The Great Airship Mystery of the Late 1800s. There's actually a lot of mystery, airship mystery articles and such.
Wow.
There's even a book, Solving the 1897 Airship Mystery by Michael Busby.
Okay.
Ghost Airships of the 1800s, Plane and Pilot magazines. So don't even ask me about my resources, ho.
Oh, I knew you had them. I didn't think you was just making it up.
No, I did. I just made it up. And you believed it, so you're stupid. Ha ha.
That's going to be our new conspiracy theory. Heather's making this shit up. Nobody else even said it.
You know what? I think I should just make up my own conspiracy theories and share them.
Okay, so
if I can get like 3 people to believe my conspiracy theory, I'm a winner.
We'll do a future episode. We'll lay out 3 conspiracy theories. 2 of them are fake that Heather made up. We're going to let you do it.
Yes.
And one of them's real.
Yes.
And the listeners have to give us feedback as to which one they think is real.
Yeah, but they're going to Google it and then they'll know because they're cheaters.
Well, fuck. You just shot that one in the foot,
Cheaters. No, but I'll make up one and just you guys can let me know if you think it's a good one.
Okay, look, we got to do this in real time. She's right. Y'all might Google it just because you want to win, even though there's no prize. So I'm going to try to figure out which one's the fake, which one's the real conspiracy in your 3 conspiracies.
Okay.
And this will happen in real time.
Sounds great.
And then they can follow along and see that I'm right, because I'm going to be right.
Isn't there like a 2 Lies and a Truth podcast? Because I had the idea for that like a while back, but then I found someone else was already doing it. And it's a shame because I'm a really good liar.
You are a good liar.
I can make up all kinds of crazy shit and people believe me.
I know you tell me things like you love me and stuff.
I know, you're stupid.
She's a fucking liar.
Yeah, I'm good at it and you totally believe it. And this has all just been a really extended joke.
Yeah.
It's like a long play. You're still believing it. So.
Oh my God, you're waiting for the payout at like the 10-year mark.
How'd you know?
You sociopath.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to divorce you so I can have half of your 401k.
Good luck with that, because I drain that son of a bitch every chance I get.
Okay.
Nice.
Stupid. Okay. I love you. See, it's a conspiracy theory. All right, guys. So 1897 airships. Can you let me know what y'all think?
Yes, thank you.
Myth or reality?
I'm intrigued. It's seen all over the world. Very similar descriptions. Of course, one article could lead to those, descriptions. But I think it's rather interesting. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit if it was some advanced technology from wherever it came, being kind of
Mars.
Yeah, he had a Martian
hieroglyphics, Mars, aliens.
He had a pack of Martian cigarettes. I know he's from Mars. But no, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if this was technology being held back from society. Because, what did they say? What you see in the public, technology-wise, is a good 20, 25 years behind what the government and, all that can actually do. So could you imagine what they can really do now at this point?
VR, where I'm a cheeseburger with googly eyes.
You're a cheeseburger with googly eyes invading other people's spaces and groping them.
No, I don't want to grope them.
You would.
I don't want to invade people's... I don't like people.
Your little cheeseburger arms.
My little cheeseburger wants to stay far away from other people. That's why I kind of like the idea of the virtual reality, maybe, because then that means I wouldn't have to actually leave and interact with anybody.
You're going to get a VR rig. You're going to go in there and you're going to make a fucking cheeseburger avatar with googly eyes. Are you not?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so let's wrap this up so I can start my planning.
Okay, let's go.
Planning stages of the cheeseburger. Peace out, Dylan.
Bye.